Hello out there, everyone in my faceicker TV land. Hope you had a good Wednesday. So, a lot of countries hate Israel. There we go, I'll just come out and say it. A lot of countries hate Israel. Iran has sworn that they are here to destroy Israel. Now, why? Why do they want to do this? What did Israel do to them? Well, the news is reporting that fights are breaking out in Gaza. Israel is attacking Gaza. And you could say that mostly this is in retaliation of their breaking the ceasefire. Palestine said, "We won't shoot," and they shot. And actually they had been shooting for quite some time. They had broken the ceasefire for a very long time. They just said, enough is enough. So they were going to start taking action. Imagine, if you will, that Mexico decided to start launching rockets into San Diego. I don't think a lot of people would wait very long to say, let's start attacking. A lot of the reasons people aren't very pleased with Israel is because there are a lot of Palestinian casualties. Two reasons. One, Palestine surrounds a lot of their military forces with civilians. If you've seen the movie Iron Man, it isn't very far from the truth. The militants in that area actually do surround themselves with civilians, making it harder for them to target them without actually causing collateral damage. Two, who's to say who's a soldier and who's a civilian? A lot of the civilians are dressed exactly like the soldiers. Numbers on the soldiers' casualties aren't really publicized as much as the civilians are. And obviously the news outlets in those areas don't make them as big of a deal. Israel is fighting a war that we should hope to never have to fight. A war where the enemy is organized, but not really. It's kind of like having frenemies. You want things to be peaceful, and everybody wants you to be friends, but at the same time, they're trying to kill you. Not a whole lot you can do. When you break down the fight, it gets pretty simple. Israel believes it is a true nation, and that it sincerely owns the area that it is inhabiting. Palestine believes that Israel is inhabiting the area that it truly owns. So who's right? Well, both countries professedly claim that they are the owners to the land and have proof to back it. Although I have to say that Israel's proof is a little more substantial than Palestine's. And they do have history that's, well, a little more substantial than Palestine's. In 1948, Israel declared itself a nation. And the United States was the first one to jump up and say, "I agree." When the USA decides that they agree to something, a lot of other countries are either going to say, "I agree," or "absent." So, there were a couple countries that did say absent and just did not show up for the vote. But, as it turns out, it doesn't need to be a unanimous decision to make you a nation. And then Israel was created. Well, long story short, the Jews, the Muslims, and pretty much every other religion with a relic to hold on to, put them all in the middle of, you guessed it, Jerusalem. Now, while all of them scrabble for a piece of the pie, there are casualties of war. And so it has been a place with a lot of conflict. In fact, at one point in history, there was a war that lasted just 6 days. And even though Israel won that war, it didn't really do them any favors as far as winning any friends, because they won that war against unbelievable odds. So, fact of the matter is, Israel is a nation that we recognize, and not everybody does. Hoped you enjoyed this little tidbit of information that I maybe made a little more understanding, and if you still have questions, don't forget to email them to askjustinquestions@gmail.com. Alrighty, have a pleasant tomorrow. Never do that. Never do that in Israel. Don't do that. Don't do that in Israel. That's a bad idea.